Hey, it's Tim here, coach of Men Who Want More, and today's message is to my brothers out there, my gentlemen. It's how to have hard conversations. And if you're like me, this isn't always an easy thing to do, or maybe you grew up not really knowing how to express your emotions or your feelings, and it's a common theme in one man's life. And I've learned a few things over the years, and I've dived deep into why people do what they do, and studying that at depth because it really fascinated me to begin with. I was very curious on why people do what they do, into my own self-development, my own growth from quite a young age, from my teenage years. And more along that journey, you find yourself in places where you need to have hard conversations. You need to have hard conversations potentially with family members, with friends, with your spouse or your partner, with business associates, with employees, with employers, whoever it may be in your life, who in your relationship circles. Hard conversations are part and parcel of being human. And I know you know this, but how do you actually do that? It's easier said than done. Just go and have a chat to that person about getting the promotion, or about your marriage, or about them being addicted to something, whatever it may be. Hard conversations, if you know how to navigate those, it not only helps you as a man, it helps them. So the one thing that I want to really bring across in this message regarding how to have conversations is it needs to come from a place of empathy, compassion, and kindness. So whatever hard conversations you have to have in your life, whether you've had some and they haven't gone as well as you'd like, or you've got a hard conversation coming up, the number one thing is to make sure that it comes from a place of empathy, compassion, and kindness. Because do you like being told by somebody anything that is from a place of judgment, like you're feeling attacked, from a place of criticism? Of course you don't. So why would they be any different? If you want to know how to have hard conversations, then you need to access the compassion, the empathy, and the kindness from within, and then relay the message to them through that. Otherwise, they're going to put up a defense mechanism. They're going to do one of two things. A, they're going to close down, or B, they're going to attack you back. And if you want a great outcome from having hard conversations, then there needs to be a more intelligent way. You need to be more emotionally intelligent. You need to have more consciousness in and around how to have those conversations if you want better relationships in your life and you want better results. Therefore, accessing compassion, empathy, and kindness is the way through that. It's the way to have a softer conversation, a softer, hard conversation, if that makes sense. And it's a way to be able to help them hear you, help them hear what you're saying, and potentially act upon it, depending on where they're at. Now, you cannot control how they respond or react. Make no mistake, no matter how you respond, you give yourself a better chance if you come through empathy, compassion, and kindness. First, you've got to find that within yourself, and then you've got to be able to project that through the conversation, talking to them. If you can't, then your job is to find a place within yourself that you can access that compassion, that empathy, and that kindness, and move through any judgments, any criticisms, anything to do with attack. Otherwise, they're going to close down or they're going to attack you back. And that's just normal human behavior. So if you've got hard conversations to have, then think about it. Think about how are you going to come from a more empathetic place? How are you going to come from a more compassionate place, seeing their point of view, their perspective? And how are you going to be kinder? Whether you agree with their behavior or not, how are you going to come from that place? Because if you want a better result, then that's the way through it. Now, like I said, you cannot control how they respond. Just because you come from a place of empathy, compassion, and kindness, does that mean that they're going to respond, the cloud's going to part, and they're going to respond in the exact way that you want? Probably not. Because they're in their own fears. They're dealing with their own shit. You get it? Maybe in hindsight, they will. But in the moment, the number one thing you want to do is making sure that you're moving through that conversation with empathy, compassion, and kindness, and then doing your best to detach from the result. Whatever happens, happens. If they blow up and they yell and scream, so be it. If they sit there and they close down, okay. If they give you the response that you're after, and maybe they start engaging and you have a nice conversation, which moves them into a more empowering direction, great. But if you can disattach from that result, but also come through the empathy, compassion, and kindness, it's a win-win. So do the right thing, not the easy thing, as I say. So if you have hard conversations to have, do the right thing. muster up the courage, feel that fear and do it anyway. As hard as it is, it's part of being human, having hard conversations. And we don't like it. Most of us don't like confrontation. But are you going to let that hold you back? Are you going to let that hold you back? Are you going to let that hold them back by not caring enough to have a hard conversation? Maybe it's with your kids, maybe it's with your boss, maybe it's with your partner, with a mate that you're concerned about, a friend, a buddy, whoever it is in your life. If there's a hard conversation needing to be had, rather than put it off, go full force into it and do it through empathy, compassion and kindness. That's all I have for you today. Mish, thanks for jumping on. Juanita, nice, thank you for your support, guys. Appreciate it. Nat, always great to see you here. Appreciate your support. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much. Like and share this video. Maybe share it with somebody who has been putting off having a hard conversation. Maybe this is give them a little bit of light on how to do it. And here's the last thing I'll make on this point. The more you do it, the better you get. No different than going to the gym. No different than going for a run. No different than managing your money. No different than being a great husband, being a great wife, or being a great person. The more that you can have those hard conversations and break through, the easier it does get. And I'm testament to that. I used to shy away from hard conversations. There's no way I was going to put myself through that. But now, as hard as it is, I do the right thing, not the easy thing. And I muster up the courage and I just do it. I just have that hard conversation. It's not always fun, but it's what we need to grow. So again, thanks for joining me on this message. Until I see you again, have an incredible day wherever you are. And that's it. So it's your time to step into your strength and to be the best man you can be.